Hello. Good morning. Grand rising, beautiful people. Hope you all slept well last night. Just adding some honey to my coffee because I completely forgot. I trust everyone is having a good morning so far. Gotta light my sage. Hello, hello. Hi, Donna. Good morning, love. Hi, Amma. Hi, Lori. How is everyone? Just gonna switch my mic over because I forgot. There we go. That's better. You guys can hear me okay? How is everyone? Hi, Elga, darling. Hi, Henry. Hi, Connie. Hi, Kara. Hi, Lori. Hi, Maria. Did you say coffee? I know. I'm not normally drinking coffee. If I do drink coffee, it's normally decaf. Drugs and all that. Try to avoid all the naughty stuff. But today, it's definitely needed. I don't know about you guys, but 8 hours of sleep has not been enough. Not that I've been getting 8 hours. I've been getting kind of close to that, but it still feels like I'm sleeping 5 hours. There we go. We got the sage going today. Hello, hello. Bradley's in the house. How's camping going, Bradley? Bradley is in the wilderness today. It was a nice chat with you yesterday, Bradley. Sophie says, I power cleaned my home and now I'm ready for Lara-filled day. I am so excited to hear that. I also did the same thing. My house is also spotless. Well, mostly spotless. And I have also been trying to make sure everything is all cleansed. I brought some nice flowers for today to keep the vibes high in the space. Ray says, thanks again for crossing my friend Shelly over. May I join again and be friends again? Of course. Aww. Hi, Ray. It's nice to see you. I'm really glad we were able to help Shelly, by the way. She was very sweet. I loved that Lost Soul rescue yesterday. I enjoyed that immensely. Cheryl says, and the rain in Pennsylvania won't stop. I know. Isn't it funny how last year we had nowhere near enough rain that we needed? We were in a major drought. And this year we're like, make it stop, please. Like, I was really bummed too, because my favorite flower in the whole world, which is lilacs, you couldn't get lilacs in Pennsylvania. They all froze this year. I called around every florist I could find for a lilac for my birthday. Nope, didn't happen. No lilacs this year. Too cold and too much rain. So I got roses instead. And, it's really nice to have fresh flowers. It is such a gift to be able to have these things, to be able to raise the vibe of our space. Because it does make it quite a difference. We made it to the sand dunes at 10:30 last night and got all set up. Made it to bed at 2 a.m. My goodness. Bradley, that sounds exhausting. Good morning, Candy. Nice to see you, love. It was nice to have you join us yesterday for the Lost Soul Rescue. Cherie says, I'll be ready for the next Lost Soul Rescue. Forgot all about the camera. Yes, that is the one thing that is the most... We got to make sure that everything is okay with you. We can't see you. We can't confirm that you're all right. So that is very important. Hi, Brandy. Good morning. Hi, Chandrika. So, I'm very excited to have you guys in my class today. You'd think I'd be nervous, but I'm actually so excited. Like, I can't wait for class. I'm really, really stoked about it. If you guys have any questions about class today, feel free to ask now, or you can just ask later on. Elga says, I have a connection with roses. I even got a cup that said Rose of England. Yeah, that's one of the roses. You see, those are the Tudor roses that I have behind me. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you too, love. So yeah, things have been very exciting. Lots of things happening right now. We're really ramping up energetically. I think that's part of the reason why everything is kind of getting exhausting for us right now. Today is class day. Yes, me too. I've been looking forward to it for quite a while now. I'm so excited to have you guys join us for this work, I must say. I love this work. It's probably the highlight of my whole life. I've done a lot of things. I've done volunteer work pretty much all over the world. And this, I mean, nothing compares to what we can accomplish together with this work. It just feels so good. And my guides, by the way, today, all of you who will be joining me, thank you to Zach who for offering. He's going to be clearing everyone today. While you guys are joining me for the live class, you guys will get a free clearing because we aren't fucking around, are we? No. We'll make sure that every single one of you are sovereign as you join us today. Not letting any of the beasties get in the way of higher learning, as they say. Speaking of which, I'm going to light some Palo Santo too. I'm just thankful I was down yesterday instead of today. I'm excited to learn from you. It's nice to see you, Summer. I am so excited for you guys to join us for Have More Lost Soul Rescues. There's a couple people that have been suggesting some big stuff. Like one person said, have we crossed over the Titanic? And I was like, what do you think? So I sat down with Kat the other day and I'm like, Kat, what do you think? Do you think the Titanic is actually like, do you think the people actually crossed over? No, they're stuck in a death loop. That's what the guide said. They are stuck in a death loop. So that might be one of the grand finales that we do for the next course. For those of you who are kind of curious, oh, see, we summoned her. We were talking about you, Kat, and then you appeared. Hello, good morning. I've had so many people message me this morning going, man, it was so nice to watch Kat's sign language, the way you do sign language, but it's like light sign language. So many people messaging me or commenting, and they're going, I just love watching Kat. We all like watching Kat. We all love to watch her work. Cherie says, I don't believe for 1 second that the Titanic was an accident. Well, to be honest, it wasn't actually the Titanic. This is a big secret that a lot of people don't know, is that the Titanic never actually sank. It was the Olympia that sank. They switched out the ships. According to some sources, including the Tayghetans, they swapped out the ships where they took the Olympia, which would have cost a lot of money, a huge amount. Yes, it was an insurance fraud. I'm so impressed you guys know that. Yes, it was an insurance fraud. They switched the ships. It was not the Titanic that sank. It was the Olympia. Yes. Oh, I just love how clued up my community is. Love that you guys know that. Yes, it was totally insurance fraud. They swapped the ships without anybody knowing. And well, I should say, well, now some people knew, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't know. But yep, they made a lot of money off of that. And they took out all of the opponents, yes, for their Federal Reserve. All of this happened right around the time they were trying to create the Federation, I should say, the Federal Reserve. So, and they wanted to get rid of the richest men that went on the ship. Yep. Full of wealthy people who weren't controlled, so they wanted to get rid of them too. Uh-huh. That's why they made sure they didn't have enough lifeboats on there. Not enough lifeboats for everyone. There's all kinds of shady shit that happened with Titanic. And so we asked Kat, we're like, can we cross over everybody? They're like, yeah, but we're going to need a bigger team for that. And I was like, I imagine we probably would. There's so many people. And they're like, no, it has nothing to do with the people. It's what's under the ocean. And I'm like, what do you mean what's under the ocean? Well, apparently there's some big freaky shit down there that we might run into. Who knows what's going on down at the bottom of the ocean? And then we started making jokes about the Kraken. And Merlin's like, don't fuck around with the Kraken. Like, the Kraken's a lot worse than you think. So you just never know what you're going to find under the ocean. Elka says aliens. Yeah, probably. Lots of those. I would not be surprised. Lots of those. There could be whole cities down there. We have no idea. The elite, there was this one place that we checked off the coast of Sweden because it's a long story, but this guy bought an island, very, very small island, but he wanted a clearing for this island. So we checked the island, and what do we find? Huge submarine station under his island. How's that for buying an island? You don't even realize. We're like, who built a submarine station under the island? Nazis. Who else? Who else would have built it? So we're like, is there like a tunnel to get under there? Yeah, but you don't want to go down there. Like, okay, noted. Good to know. You're right. We don't want to go down there. Thank you. Yes, the best place to hide stuff in the ocean. Ramara has been alluding to the Titans waking under the ocean. That's one of Aiden's favorite movies, by the way, is Godzilla. He is like obsessed with Godzilla. And his favorite movie, like about it, is when they go into Inner Earth. The Inner Earth one where they're looking with Baby Kong, that one, he's watched it probably 20 times. He absolutely loves that movie. And it's good. I mean, it does talk about Inner Earth and Agartha and all those incredible things that happen under there. Erica says, LOL the Kraken. Ironically, I have a glass octopus necklace around my neck right now. Found it under my desk the other day. Oh, yeah. I also have one of those. I have a really cool octopus necklace, actually. I'll have to wear it next time I come on the podcast so you guys can see it. But now after dealing with level 3s, when we have... we call them level 3s, but they're galactic entities. And you would be surprised how nasty some of those octopuses can be. Have you guys seen that movie, or the TV show Resident Alien? And in Resident Alien, he's talking to this octopus that's in this sushi restaurant, and he like saves the octopus. He grabs the octopus and runs down the street with it. And it's because it's his cousin. And they talk about how these octopuses are actually aliens that exist. Oh, that is totally accurate. 100% accurate. Aliens, 100%. And there's this one scene where he's like arguing with the octopus telepathically, and it's just hilarious. Like these octopuses are totally real. There are galactic octopuses. I know how I sound when I say that, but you'd be surprised how many times we've tuned into people, especially people who are dealing with extreme psychosis, and we found this nasty octopus thing. They like to sit on your back. They ride your back, and then they put all their arms around you, and they squeeze you, and they cover you in like this slimy, funky stuff, and then it gets into your, like, you start to like cough up stuff, you get all congested, and they've got all kinds of like slimy things in there. Mary says, oh, looking it up, it's on Netflix, Resident Alien. It's absolutely hilarious. Like they have blue avians in the show as well, and reptilians and grays and all. I mean, there's this one scene where he's an alien, right? And he's trying to hide as a human. And he goes to like this alien conference kind of thing. And they're talking about reptilians and grays. And he's giving his own little opinions in the audience about all these different races. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's so funny. So yeah, if you guys want a good laugh, check it out. He's kind of an asshole, just for the record. The alien is... he's here to destroy humanity. So don't expect him to be a nice guy. Sophie says, I had one. It was horrible. All gone. Yes, those octopuses, I'm telling you, they're quite common. And we've also found hybrids too. Like they will hybridize some of these beings with other versions of themselves or other ETs. So you end up with like souped up octopuses and weird shit. Like things aren't weird enough as it is. The actor is perfect for the role too. He really is. I forget his name. He was in that movie Contact as well. Contact was also a really good movie. You guys know that in the movie Contact with Jodie Foster, right? And it's got like that machine that they build with all the intersecting rings, and the rings are doing this, right? I've seen one of those outside my window, middle of the night. We had a power outage. This is when I was living in New Jersey, like 14 years ago. I was living right outside Atlantic City. The power goes out, and I was kind of bored, so I was like, oh, whatever, and I stuck my head out the window, and I'm just kind of looking up at the stars, and all of a sudden I see this giant thing flying across the sky. It looked like a giant ball of fire, but then it had these intersecting rings, just like in the movie Contact, that thing that they developed. It was one of those. I could see it clear as day moving through the sky. It was one of the coolest things I had ever seen. I think they're real, totally. Some of the things they make. Oh, he looks like but oh yes, They Live. Yes. They Live is a great movie. They Live is one of my favorite movies, to be honest. It's an oldie but a goodie. If you guys haven't seen They Live, absolutely hilarious movie. It's really good though. Like it points out so much truth. It's unbelievable. Eric says this better not be a backed octopus. There's the good and bad and everything. There's gonna be good octopuses out there, I'm sure. Doesn't he end up eating the octopus? You're not supposed to give away the whole story, Pamela. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I also feel like an alien trying to make it as a human. To be honest, that is what keeps me going most days when I'm dealing with humans. Like to look at yourself as kind of like a benevolent alien that's just visiting. I'm not one of you people, but I can hang, you know, like it makes you feel better. Contact is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yes, Lynn, it is a good movie, isn't it? We need a movie list post. I totally agree, Mary. If you guys haven't seen Jupiter Ascending, that is one that makes me emotional every time I watch it. It's just, I mean, it reminds me of the Orion Wars. I think it gives me flashbacks. Like that movie. Oh my God, Jupiter Ascending. If you hadn't seen Lucy too, Lucy is another really good one. Lucy is a great movie. If you guys haven't seen Lucy, make sure you watch it. I told Bradley the other day, like, you have to watch this other movie called The Gods Must Be Crazy. Anybody seen The Gods Must Be Crazy? It's probably one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love The Gods Must Be Crazy. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to check it out. But yeah, Jupiter Ascending is a really good movie. And Lucy. Feel free to name some more. Like, I love movies. I do. If they resonate. My favorite of the Avengers movies is Doctor Strange, of course. Doctor Strange is the man. Love Doctor Strange. That one scene, like I went and saw it in theaters, and that one scene where he like whacks where the Ancient One knocks him out of body. I lost my shit in the movie theater. I totally did. There's a legend of an octopus that drowns people in Oklahoma lakes. Really? I never heard that legend. Oh, yes. Fifth Element is a good one. Brendan has seen The Gods Must Be Crazy. Yes, Brendan. Have you seen the second one? Gods Must Be Crazy too. It's just as good as the first one, in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased because they have rhinos and a honey badger in it, and I just adore rhinos and honey badgers. Fucking hilarious scene in there with the honey badger. Like, and it was really funny too because they kept calling like rhinos the firefighters of the bush. And every time they would light a fire, a rhino would come and stomp it out and like chase them off. Oh, it's such a funny movie. You have to see Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. I've never heard of that. Thanks, Kat. Bradley says my favorite movie will always be Avatar. Well, I wonder why, Bradley. Yes. Avatar is based on truth as well. Just like Star Wars. Star Wars is a retelling of the Orion Wars. It is 100% a retelling of the Orion Wars. Rachel says the first one is better. Well, you're not obsessed with rhinos like I am, Rachel. They didn't have rhinos in the first one. Like, Taylor says, Lara, can you explain timeline shifts? Absolutely. One of my favorite analogies for this is Bashar. Bashar's analogy was a really good one. He says that you are always constantly shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality at every moment of every day. If you weren't shifting between timelines, it would seem as if nothing was happening. Like you'd be frozen in time. So what gives us the illusion of time passing is us switching between these parallel realities from moment to moment. So which parallel reality you will enter is entirely dependent on your consciousness level, on your vibration level, on your perception, on your free will and the choices that you make. It reminds me kind of like one of the, well, I've said this many times before. It's like a choose your own adventure book. The present and future are happening all simultaneously. What you actually get to decide is which version of the future you wish to experience. So it's like this future is kind of set in stone. You have, I wouldn't say limited options. I consider like billions of different timelines to be still limited depending on what you want to accomplish. Like there's no timeline today where I jump on an airplane and I go to Egypt, like because that's just not in the cards for me. So there's certain things where, yeah, you have a percentage based on the likelihood of something happening. And so this is another reason why many of us end up having deja vus, or we end up having confused memories between experiences. One person can remember one experience, another person remembers completely else, completely different experience. And this is because you're not in the same timeline at all times. We're all the center of our own subjective holographic reality. So you know how they say, like, you think the world revolves around you? Well, technically it does. It does. It revolves around each and every single one of us as an individual because you are the center of your own universe. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Like, this is why we go back to God and how we keep talking about how you are source in a way. So all these different timelines, all these other realities that exist out there, you can put yourself into all these different realities based on which one you choose, which one you resonate with the most. But this is also because your vibration level is a huge factor in this. If you have a low vibration, if your vibration is low, you're going to go to a lower vibrational opportunity because that is one that's presenting itself. But if you go to a higher vibrational mindset and you raise your vibration, you open up and access new timelines that become available to you. This is why they say your highest timeline, right? Your highest timeline is your highest vibration leading you to your highest timeline. Someone mentioned the other day the halls of a mentee. What is that? Well, you know how we have the Akashic records? The Akashic records is the energetic imprint of everything that'll ever happen or ever has happened. And you can tap into this energetic record because it's like an imprint of all experience, right? Well, the halls of a mentee is your hall of records. It is the hall of soul contracts, basically. It's where all the agreements are made. You go there when you want to change things. Let's say there's a soul contract you made with an asshole, and you're like, I don't like this guy anymore. I don't want to have any more experiences with this person. I think I'm done. You can go to the halls of a mentee and clear your record with this person and say, nope, we're done. Clearing all contracts with this person. And that allows you to kind of break the chain, so to speak. Jacob says, I really like the way you explain things, Laura. You bring good energy. Thank you, Jacob. That's a lovely compliment. I appreciate that. So, yeah, if you want to know, that's why they say a hall of records is good to visit after you visit the Akashic records. So you go and have an Akashic records reading, like Carolyn is having one with Adriana on Monday. I'm very excited for you, Carolyn. I bet it's going to be a lot of fun learning about your soul history. And I have a feeling we knew each other, Carolyn. Something just tells me we got some history. So yeah, the Akashic records is good to kind of check out what you're learning, what you're working on, what contracts you have, what karma you're working on, all those things. It's like it's your list of all the side quests that you've decided to take. So you can actually go into the halls of a mentee and you can change what your plan is. You can change your records, you can change your karmic experiences and a whole lot of stuff. So it's a lot of fun to go through your Akashic records because it's your history of you. It explains a lot of things, not only about you, but about your relationships. Why things are the way they are, why people act the way they do. You get a lot of context. If you want context, that is what you want. This is an Akashic records reading. You get all the context. Is it different for a medium to read their own records or versus when another medium does it for them? It's always different depending on the medium, because technically the information is coming through the filter of the consciousness of the medium. So it's kind of like everybody is wearing their own shade of sunglasses, right? So everybody's going to see things differently. It's going to be similar. It's going to be very similar depending on what they're looking for. But they're also going to see things slightly differently because, like I said, everybody's perception is slightly different. So that changes things. It also comes through the ego, and everybody else's ego is different. So if you have a very healthy ego and you know how to set the ego aside and let the information come through without letting it come through like a heavy filter, then the information is more accurate. So that is why it's really good to go to somebody that knows what they're doing with the Akashic records, because a lot of times some people just kind of, they get an intuitive insight, but there's no way of confirming if that's accurate. So this is why it's nice to have multiple people kind of sit you down and tell you these things. So to go through multiple different sessions and see, like if you were to get 3 different readings, you take all 3 of those, you put them together, and the things that all match up, or at least the things that resonate with you the most, are the things that you're meant to believe or accept. If it resonates, good. If it doesn't, also good. Yes, we're all talking about Adriana. For those of you who are interested, Adriana does a phenomenal Akashic Records reading. So thank you, Kara. Kara's dropped her link right there. AdrianaGaray.com. I'm biased. Adriana is one of my besties. So she's just absolutely a phenomenal. We've known each other 12,000 years. I got a lot of confidence in her. Can a medium talk to an imposter guide and think they're the real thing? Yes, absolutely. It happens all the time. That is why we call them imposter soul guides rather than attachments. Because yeah, they've worked their way in to push out your guides. My soul guides told me the first Akashic record to stop this nonsense of not believing in myself. So they basically called me out and said, stop with this bullshit. That's one of the most frustrating things for a soul guide. Can you imagine having somebody that you're constantly giving all this insight to, but they don't want to believe it? That is part of the frustration for the soul guides, is sometimes they work very, very hard to get something into your head, to be like, okay, I really need to do this thing. Okay. And then all of a sudden your self-doubt starts creeping in and you're like, well, maybe I wasn't supposed to do that thing. And then you start beating yourself up over and be like, you know what? I can't do that thing. It's too much. It's too much. I can't handle it. Da, da, da. And the soul guides are like, God, of course she can handle it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have mentioned it. So constantly we beat ourselves up and we doubt ourselves. And the soul guides are like, bitch, you're just blowing yourself down. Like they get frustrated. They do. They get so annoyed with us sometimes. Because I mean, it all comes from love. They want to see us on our highest timeline. They want to see us happy and flourishing. And most of the time, you know what gets in the way? Us. We get our own way. We can't even blame other people because technically, you know, those other people, they're just bumps in the road. You know, you can always find a way to go around the bumps. You don't have to stop the car and sit there and stare at the bump and go, man, I don't know if I should keep going this way. Screw that. You go around the bump and you keep going. Don't let people stop you from doing what you came here to do. There's a lot of naysayers, a lot of doubters. And who cares what they think? Doesn't matter. You have any people, you know, I talk to on a daily basis that tell me I'm completely nuts because I claim I clear aliens and demons from people? Do you think I give a shit? No, not even a little bit. Because I've had it proven to me 1,000 different times in different ways that it's all real. So that is what matters, is that you believe it and you accept it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Oh, mine are frustrated. I'm all talk and no talk. And then they got to be like, come on, what more do you want? Let's go. Yes. Well, the funny thing is, right? Do you have any idea? And we should remind our soul guides of this. Be glad that I even know you exist. Like most people do not know their soul guides exist. They have no clue. So the fact that we even communicate openly with our soul guides, the fact that we're even having conversations with them and asking them for help and guidance, I mean, We should be getting a pat on the back as it is, right, Charlie? Like, how many years he had to wait for me to even know he existed in the first place? And how many other people out there that have no idea that they have somebody that is with them 24/7? Which is one of the things that really cracks me up the most, I must say, because there's a couple of my clients, right? It's so funny. So I tune into this client and he'll have a succubus on him, and I'll be like, all right, where did the succubus come from? And it always comes from the same place, watching porn on the internet. So I've had to put it in there, like in the aftercare advice. I'm like, what do you want me to say? And it's so funny, right? Because the soul guides are always like, we are always watching you. Like that's they want me to put in the aftercare report. They're like, you are never alone. Everything you do, we see. Like, so just be aware every time you're doing naughty things, we are completely aware of it and we are observing you doing the naughty things. Like, how many people would actually be doing those things if they knew that they were never alone? Ah. So we got to put that in the aftercare, like, behave yourself. We see you. Ah, yes. I've had it a couple of times where I'm like, don't watch this, Charlie. I'm like, close your eyes, Charlie. Don't look. You don't see nothing. Usually, because I'm naughty too. What can I say? I'm a bit hedonistic. I have my days. They play stuff down here. We gotta have some fun, right? So I no judgment. Like people like what they like, but just be aware, own that shit, and be like, so what? Go avert your eyes. Like, all the soul guys out of the room, please. I need a moment to myself. So funny. We're human. It's nature. We like fun too. Exactly. Yep. But just remember, even with all the kinky shit, they're watching. They see everything. When I'm doing stupid shit, I always say to my guides, please turn around. Yes, see, exactly. You didn't see that. But I must say, like, whenever something fucked up happens, the first thing I do is to turn to my guides and be like, did you see that shit? Like, did you what the fuck was that? There's so many times I swear to God I hear laughing in my own head. Like my guides are laughing their asses off. I'm pretty sure they have a very good sense of humor like I do. Otherwise they wouldn't be my guides, right, Charlie? After getting all set up last night, I took a couple puffs, but before I said, hey Sam, look over there and do something. Funny. Because the Salacians, they do. They're like that too. They don't like the reefer for some reason. The Salacians are like, that's what I've told them though. I'm like, do you have any idea? Like, you're lucky I'm even doing this work because all I wanted to do was live as a recluse in the bush and grow my pots, be left alone. So, leave me to my one vice. Thank you very much. Just turn to them and be like, what just happened there? Yeah, exactly. How many times we look at the guides and we're like, all right, please tell me you saw that because did I just, yeah, okay. Yep, exactly, Ariana. I feel bad for my guides in my past, but I've had a lot of fun. Well, the guides like they're fun too, just for the record. It reminds me last night, like we were tuning. Did you guys watch the Lost Soul Rescue from last night? Katya's grandfather was such a hoot. He was such a vibe. He owned that shit because Katya's grandfather was like this Viking that we tuned into and crossed over last night. And he was just standing there with his big beer mug, And I mean, today he's like, this is just part of who I am. Like, he owned that shit. He's like, I like my beer. What are you gonna say? Nothing. No judgment. Do your thing. You're in spirit. You can drink all the beer you want now. Like, I have heard that you can still drink alcohol in heaven. I'm wondering if it actually gives you a buzz, though. Probably not. Like, is it nice and cold and bubbly as you're drinking it? Like, this is one of the things I have to ask Chen or one of the other guides. Like, Zach told me to do what I have to do to get through it here. Yes, exactly, Kara. Yes, do what you got to do to survive or stay sane. Yeah, the soul guides see how many naked people. Why are they looking? Uh, that ended up being the largest clearing that we did yesterday. My heart's so full to be able to help him. I know, right? He was such a sweetie. I love this work that we do. I really do. And the earthbounds that we help, like you can tell they're so relieved to be helped. Can you please say something more detailed about you saw with Shelley Gentry? Well, you saw it. You saw the experience. You know what we know now. Everything that we had in that clearing is what we experienced. We didn't leave anything out. I'm very glad that we could help her. And I'm very glad that we could help those two gentlemen yesterday, too. The ones that got pushed in front of the train. Oh, man. Very sad story what happened in Lubbock, Texas yesterday. And the fact that they were actually killed by technically a psychic attack, because these two guys were waiting for the train to pass, and somebody came up behind them and rear-ended them and pushed them straight into the train. And so we look into it, and sure enough, the person that pushed him into the train had a Lizzie on him. So it's almost like they can final destination us if they really want to, in a way. Cause like some bullshit to happen, and then the next thing you know, it's like some freak accident occurs, and it's not actually a freak accident at all. It was orchestrated accident. Erica says, "What? Speaking of beer in heaven, what do you think about pastafarianism?" It's a good question. Well, you know, technically, that if humans believe in something, all it takes is one human to believe in one thing and you manifest it in the astral. So that technically does mean that there is a real flying spaghetti monster somewhere in the astral. I'm pretty sure people have seen him on mushrooms before. Uh-huh. Real flying spaghetti monster. This is part of the reason why we're stuck in quarantine, people. We got to stop manifesting weird shit before they'll let us out. We're gonna have to stop manifesting freaky shit. It reminds me of that video that somebody sent me the other day. Oh my god, was it Brandy? It was you, wasn't it? It was absolutely hilarious about those thought forms. About it was AI drawing like recreating children's drawings into creatures. Could you imagine what children are manifesting in the astral? Like all the freaky shit that ends up manifested in the astral by children. Oh, it's so funny. There's a question. Where's a question? I missed it. There's a lot of stuff popping up. I swear when I saw the recording, my heart started pounding and I was sweating for a minute. And I asked the Nordic goddess Freya to bring in soothing energy. Then I felt better. Imagine that. What are thought forms in pets? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, animals don't think of things the same way that we do. Their thoughts are slightly, the way that they think is also different. So they do manifest thought forms, but not the same kind of thought forms that we do. They're more survival based. Do they have sex though in the afterlife? Of course, they have all the things. Yep, you can have sex in the afterlife too. Yep, you can have all the things you like. Manifest it. Oh, Mariah, it's nice to have you with us. Any other questions? These are good questions you guys got today. Any other questions about class as well? About training today? About whatever you guys want? Are bugs a type of alien? That's a good question, Taylor. Depends, yeah. keep in mind, right, that this planet has gone through several great cataclysms to the point where everything was pretty much destroyed and they had to start life all over again on this planet. This is why, if you guys notice, we were talking about this yesterday. My friend sent me that really cool video where they're discussing the Ark of the Covenant. And it was the Ark of Gabriel, because it's a long story. I don't know if you guys saw the post, but there's a type of military grade remote viewing. I actually know a couple mediums that are in training for this. It's military grade remote viewing, like astral spying, right? And they have a very strict protocol that they use, and it's really fascinating the way they work. So with this military grade astral remote viewing, they ended up having somebody, they don't tell you what you're looking for, right? They want you to visualize something. They'll have a target in their mind, and they say, okay, there's a target. It's a physical target somewhere in the world, period. That's all you get to know, right? But somebody who set the intention for that specific target is all it takes, because the information is in the cosmos now, right? As soon as you select that target, your other students are going to be trying to tune in to the same thing. And the way that they see these things is entirely dependent on how their perception is, right? And if you can clear your perception, if you can clear your mind and really tune in energetically, you can see things with your mind's eye, no matter where they are in the world or wherever, even off world. So they chose the Ark of the Covenant as one of the remote viewing exercises. This is part of a released CIA document, like a disclosed CIA document, where they basically recited exactly where it was. He tuned into the Ark of Gabriel. That is the one that they had in Mecca that was in that, what is it called? Right underneath that huge cube. And they tried to move it in 2015. So obviously that is an older description, because it was moved in 2015. And when it was moved in 2015, they had a giant crane over the building. And that is when 111 people were actually killed when the crane fell. When they went to move the ark out from underneath that one location in Mecca, the crane fell and killed 111 people when it collapsed. So they have magnetic weapons attached to the ark. And so these magnetic weapons are able to be discharged whenever it's being tampered with. So if anybody tries to move it or break into it, that is what occurs. It starts, causing all kinds of disruptions in the frequencies. And then it can even zap everybody around it. Like, this thing is able to defend itself. So what interesting is that this person nailed all that. Like, all the things were mentioned on this. If you go back and scroll down through the videos, you'll see through the post, you'll see the Ark of the Covenant, and their link is right below it. So if you want to watch the video, but he nailed it. The way he described it, that is exactly where it was. It was in Mecca, and now it's in Antarctica. They've moved it. So all kinds of very interesting things you can find from remote viewing. You can block them being able to watch you like this. Yes, we'll be discussing that in the class, actually, funnily enough. What is the ark actually supposed to be? It is a genetic receptacle. It's holding on to genetic material from before the flood. So all of those creatures that died off in the flood, their genetic material, I shouldn't say all of them, but as many as they could capture, they able to take those samples of their DNA and they saved them in the ark. So that way, if need be, they can start bringing those life forms to a new planet or to start reintroducing them here. You know how we're trying to bring back dire wolves and all of that nonsense now? It kind of pisses me off a little bit. I mean, it's cool that we can even bring these animals back, but what kind of world are we bringing them back to? What are we going to do? Stick a dire wolf in a fucking zoo? What is the point? You're going to have it grow in a laboratory and then what? Have dire wolves running around the laboratory and that you'll never be able to release into the wild? How about saving some of the creatures we already have, going extinct, like rhinos and pangolins and leopards and other creatures that are going to completely be extinct in the next 50, 60 years if things keep going the way they're going. So anyway, I'll rant about that all day long. Save the rhinos. I hope they don't bring back the dinosaurs. Well, As you saw on the recording last night, if you watched the Lost Soul Rescue, we got to see a naked Lizzie. That's close enough to the dinosaurs, right? We stripped the Lizzie naked. That was a very entertaining session, I must say, actually. This is why it's good to not let them know when you're coming or where you're going, Try and surprise them. We never know who you're going to find. Might find a big lizard. They're still around. Hi, Laura. I'm just now joining the live. Hi, Marie. I wanted to personally thank you for clearing my daughter, Meadow. You confirmed she's a starseed. Yes, she had 70 implants. Is she feeling better now, Marie? Sorry it took so long to get to that pro bono, but as you guys know, I'm several months booked out with pro bonos. Kat says, naked Lizzie, no tech for you. Yes. It's like, now you see it, now you know. Just yoink. No, that doesn't belong to you. Eric says, I'm in class today, but I'm all out of sage and the local shop is closed. Honestly, you're getting a clearing. Everybody that joins me for class today will have a clearing. The Salations have told me they're going to pop in and do a clearing today at noon. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that Meadow's feeling better. That's wonderful. What do you have to say about the mermaid eating parties in Hollywood? I think people are full of shit. Most cases. If you see it on TikTok, it's probably bullshit. So many people make up stuff for clicks. It drives me insane. Like, people wonder why I'm not on TikTok. It's because I can't stand all the bullshit people are selling on there. Oh my God, the things that people believe. Like, there's so much stuff that they just make up in their heads and then just start putting it out there as fact. I don't believe it. But then again, anything is possible. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't believe it's likely. Can you please tell me if there's a specific sage I can grow? White sage. White sage. Yep. Get some white sage seeds and you're good to go. White sage is great. It's pretty easy to grow compared to the other sages. You don't have to grow sage, for the record. You can grow lavender. You can grow rosemary. Cedar is a great smudge. I'm trying to think. Eucalyptus also works for you Aussies. It's always in good abundance. Even have eucalyptus. I bought eucalyptus today at Trader Joe's, so I could hang it in my shower. So you can get all those things. Eucalyptus is also good. Where's that one that I have? Oh my goodness. If you go to Shaman Market has the best bundles. Look at this bad boy. This is one of the Shaman Market bundles. You can get white sage and eucalyptus. That's what that is. You see? Eucalyptus on there, white sage on the other side. They also have the short ones. That's the one I'm using. This is the fatty but shorty. Palo Santo also works. You can just put some crystals around yourself. Like, you are a very powerful being in your own right. Just keep the vibes high. And you should be good to go. You can use essential oils. Yes. They say the mermaids can give them special abilities, so they secretly hunt and capture them. Do you have any idea how rare real mermaids are these days and how much they stay away from humans? They are extremely rare. There's probably only a couple hundred left on this whole planet. And then on top of that, they live very deep in the oceans because they don't want to be fucked with. So, like I said, people don't even know what real mermaids are these days. Most of the time, people think they all look like the Little Mermaid, like Ariel. They don't even look like that. They don't have hair. They don't even have hair. So no, they have scales. They don't look like what they look more fish-like than people. So this is one of the reasons why, like, people just make up a lot of stuff. I believe it when I see it. How many hours from now is the course? The course will begin in an hour and 10 minutes from now. So 70 minutes. When is the next Reiki class? Well, Tina and I were discussing that tonight, actually, or last night, actually. We were trying to figure out when we're going to do the next one. It'll probably be around July, end of July. Give you guys a couple months to practice level 1. Just keep practicing your Reiki, keep building up your vibration. And then we'll do the next Reiki class probably end of July. Give ourselves a little break. I'm going to have a lot of testing to do to give you guys certification for both the facilitators and the mediums. So once you take part 1 and 2 and you think you've got everything down and you want your certification for part 2, you'll just have to email me. We'll plan a time for when you guys want to be, there to do the clearing and to be able to pass, to be able to get a certification as a facilitator, you'll have to do a clearing on your own with a medium. You'll have one of our mediums. You'll do a clearing with Kat or Bradley or Carolyn or Adriana, because this is my crew. It's going to be the 5 of us that are going to be focusing on the training. So you guys will be able to practice with one of our mediums, and you'll be able to, because you'll be able to sit in. We're going to have practice sessions 3 times a week. So you can sit in with Carolyn and Kat and Adriana and I 3 times a week. So you guys can do practice sessions, do practice clearings. And when you're confident enough and you're ready, then we can do a test where you basically do your own clearing with one of the mediums. You just go through and make sure that you don't miss anything. And if you do it well, bam, you got your certification. And if you are confident enough with your mediumship, you sit in, you do some clearings with us, you kind of tune in, make sure that your guides are getting the information accurate. And once you and your guides are confident enough, you let us know when you're ready for the mediumship test. And then when you are, we'll do the test to make sure one of our mediums will sit in while you're doing the clearing, and they'll make sure that nothing was missed and that you got everything and that it was copacetic. And if so, then bam, you've got your medium certification as well. And the psychic surgery course, that is not even begun. That'll probably be in September when I get back from because August and stuff is going to be really busy. And I haven't even started writing my psychic surgery course yet because I've been focusing so much on all these other ones. But it will be, yes, there will be a psychic surgery course that I'll be doing probably either end of October or early September, give or take. September, October. We'll see how it goes. Elaine says, miss practicing with you guys. It'll be so nice to have you join us, Elaine. Because, yeah, we love having people join us. We're stronger the more people that we have join us. So it just means that our group, we can start tackling things like the Titanic. The more mediums and facilitators we have, the better. Because keep in mind, your spirit team is in training too. We're in training and so are they. Jacob says, you've always got a lot of things going on. You're impressive. Well, Jacob, I am ready for the 5D shift. I don't know about you guys. This is how badly I want the shift. Like, I'm not fucking around. I am doing absolutely everything I possibly can to manifest this shift. And so I'm very glad that you guys will be joining me for the same cause. I've got the bird today for Dolores. Love you, Dolores. I love this mug. I've got this mug just because of Dolores. I was having some third eye activations last night, getting ready. I was also, because I was sitting here and all of a sudden I feel like this. And I'm like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden I feel this. I was like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden I could feel like it was like my crown chakra was opening. And then it was like, it was funny too, because I said I was going to go to bed at 10, but then I kept working. And then at 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm going to go to bed in a second. And then I watched it switch to 11. And as soon as I watched the clock stick to 11, I heard this really long, like it went beep in my ear. And I was like, okay. Yes, I'm going. Yes, I know. I need to go. I know. I'm well aware. It's kind of funny how my guides will like ding me in the ear whenever I'm ignoring the fact that I need to go to bed. Patrick says, clear the Annabelle doll. Which one, Patrick? The one that's traveling around is a fake anyway. I'm with Laura. I asked Mother Gaia last night for percentage of healing, and I got 18%. Well, Mother Gaia came in to help us with the clearing last night, which was really cool. Jacob said your mic once had a big glow over it. Did you ever figure out what that was? Yes, that was my guides showing off. They were trying to distract me. They didn't want me to talk about it. I was talking about bureaucrats and the high astral, and they're like, just so they went and did all the glowy thing to distract me. It kind of irks me that it worked too, that I was like, oh, shiny thing. Oh my God. And I completely forgot what I was talking about. That's why they did that. It was to shut me up, and it worked. Deflection, literally. It's funny. Yeah, well, whenever they want me to shut up, that's all they have to do is shiny thing me because my ADD. My ADD, they're like, oh, look, something cool. Oh, yeah, what was I talking about? I have no idea. I wish I knew who my guides were. Well, you can find out. You can book a session with Adriana. She does something called a chat with your soul guides. Meet your soul guides. Adriana, here, I'll just drop her link. AdrianaGaray.com. If you go to her sessions, you'll see she offers Akashic Records readings and a Meet Your Soul Guides session, so you can kind of get to know your guides. They do that trick though. Look over there. Yes, they do. Deflection. Misdirection. That's the one. Misdirection. They do it all the time. It kind of, like I said, it kind of annoyed me that I fell for it. Because when they told me why, they were like, we just wanted you to change the subject. And I was like, because I was trash talking the Federation. They don't like that. They're like, shh, don't go pissing them off, Laura. Quit being so honest. Shh. Since I mentioned on a star, I got attacked before I start the course. I never got attacked again, and I know I'm being helped. Yes. Protection is the most important thing, you guys. Every day, you got to ground yourself. You have to call in your spirit team. You're asking for protection. I said them last night to Fergus. I was like, Fergus, class is tomorrow. I'm not fucking around. Like, you better not leave my side tonight. Like, I don't just ask Fergus for help. I'm like, Fergus, can you protect me? I'm like, Fergus, don't you fucking go anywhere. Like, you better stay right here. It was funny the other day. Adriana told Zach the same thing. She's like, Zach, you're not leaving my side this whole night. You are going to sleep in the bed right there. I'm sleeping here. You're sleeping there. Like, you're not moving from this spot. Because, when you're teaching a class like this, they do want to fuck with us. They do. They don't appreciate what we're teaching, but that's all I have to say to that. Don't matter what you don't like. It was really great to see you, Elga. Thank you for joining us, honey. I read something saying that sometimes when a medium or practitioner that is too busy working all the time for people can get things wrong, it does not resonate with the person they're working with. To be honest, most mediums have to, kind of get information through the filter of their own ego, and that is part of the problem. As we said in the beginning, you have everybody is wearing glasses, right? And so we're all going to see things differently because we're all wearing different glasses. It's kind of like that. But the better the medium, the less of a filter that the ego has to kind of, squeak through. So that's why a stronger, more confident medium has a more accurate information that comes out. So plus, just take what resonates and leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't vibe with your soul, then it's probably not accurate. And this is part of the problem. Like, there are some times where Adriana is doing a session and somebody's like, well, I was told I'm this, this, and this. And she has to be like, sorry, that was bullshit. Like, it happens. Sometimes we get fed misinformation from very gifted, wonderful people and that mean well. It's not like they're trying to feed us misinformation. It's just that sometimes the ego filter gets in the way of the accuracy of the information. So the healthier the ego and the more the medium can kind of set the ego aside, the more likely that the information will be accurate. And since Adriana is a very special case because she's literally just talking to your guides. Like your soul guides pop up, she sees them and relays. Like that is her job. Adriana is the translator. You know, it's basically what she is. She's a universal translator. She's an absolutely brilliant one. But the soul guides come in. She doesn't come up with anything. She's not like tuning in and being like, oh, let me read your mind. No, it's literally your guides pop up. She sees them and has a conversation with them and relays the information from them to you. Kind of like she's just a translator. Yes, for an Akashic Records reading, it's very similar. Your guides show up, they bring your Akashic Records in your book. You have, I jokingly call it my rap sheet, but you have your rap sheet with all the information. And all she has to do is open the book and be like, okay, you did some shit back in the 10th century. Let me tell you. You know, like that's how an Akashic Record session goes. She's not like, doing one of these and pulling information from source. She literally has the book in her hand and she's like, well, okay, yeah, you were a little shit in the 16th century too. Yeah, you got some karma you're working off. That 16th century really slowed you down. You had a lot of shit through here. Oh, yeah, your ex-husband, that happened in the 13th century too. That was pretty messy. Like so that's why if you guys notice, yes, I do play favorites. She is my favorite. I adore her. So I have no qualms about admitting it. There's a lot of other phenomenal people that do Akashic Records reading in our community, and we're very blessed to have them, but like I said, if you want somebody who I'm convinced is 100% accurate with her readings, that would be Adriana. She is phenomenal. Patrick says, I like getting hypnotized. That way you are tapping into your own information, provided you have no attachments. You're still tapping into your freaking ego, Patrick. That ego is still there. That's the problem. It may not be someone else's ego, but your ego is just as much as a little shit as everybody else's, making up its own stuff and deciding what it wants you to know versus what you're socially meant to know. The ego, humans are the only ones that have egos, for the record. The ETs, the Galactics, the Pleiadians, and all these other beings, they don't have egos. That is a purely human thing. So everybody's always talking about embrace your ego because it's a part of you. It is a part of you. It's a part of being human, but it's not essential for you to have in a relationship with. I always tell my ego to sit down and shut up. Like, you can be nice to your ego. Yeah, you can be like, I love you, ego. But you can also be like, sit down, shut up, don't talk. Like, that's how I talk to my own ego. When I notice my ego getting triggered, I'm like, bitch, be quiet. Like, but you guys can talk to ego however you want. You're different. You can do however you like. Is it possible to know why my daughter still refuses to go to school through my guides? You have to, find out. There's some history there. There's probably some trauma. I didn't want to go to school either because of trauma. But then again, some children just don't like school. They don't like the indoctrination. They don't like the low vibes. They don't like a lot of the things that in relation to school. I couldn't stand school. I got done for truancy because I was skipping school all the time. I was very naughty in my 16, 17-year-old age, to the point where they're like, if you don't want to be here, then why don't you just get your GED? And I was like, fine, done. And it was done in 2 weeks. Done. Okay, passed all the tests, told you I knew everything, bye. Like, I ended up graduating a year early because of it. I couldn't wait to get out of school. Some people just don't like the indoctrination. I can't handle indoctrination. People telling me what to do and how to live and what to think. Nope. So I've been kicking my ego to the fucking curb. I used to try and be nice, but anymore I'm like, sit down and shut up. Yeah, see, Bradley? Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I have to go chase beasties. Normally I chase beasties at noon with Carolyn, but I'll be hanging out with you guys today instead. So I'm going to go and jump on with Carolyn and go and kick some Lizzie butts. We'll see if we can go find another officer to take out. That was so good yesterday. Oh, I love it. If you guys want to see us take out a Lizzie officer, make sure that you go and join our group, the Lost Soul group, and watch the recording from yesterday when we cleared the Nottoway plantation in Louisiana. That same plantation that burned to the ground. Everybody was like, hey, did you see all the ancestors and the images? Yeah, there were 700 earthbounds on that building. Or I should say, in the vicinity of that building. 700 earthbounds we crossed over. So I highly recommend you guys go and check out that recording from yesterday. It was really, really cool. You can find it either on my page because I shared it on the wall yesterday, or you can join my Spirit Release and Lost Soul Rescue private group and you'll see it in there. Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited to see you guys 55 minutes from now. I can't wait. It's going to be a really, really fun class. I'm not even slightly nervous. That's a really good sign. Like, I'm ready to rock. I am so excited about it. I love you guys. I hope you all have a magical day, and I will see some of you in just under an hour. It'll be nice to spend my day with you guys. Mwah! Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.